Now, when we talk about education and the role of university today, yesterday we talked a little bit about the ideology of who owns the university and what a university is.
We had a very interesting talk in this panel earlier today about the great challenges that changes in the world today are being presented to universities, particularly for the area of education in our mission. And we had a wonderful talk from a leading university in the world, very successful in their education activities, framing these challenges and also explaining to us the approaches that they have set up to cope with these challenges. A very important part of the presentation, the talk and the discussion today is what kind of graduates are we creating, are we developing, are we helping to bring to society and to the economy today. And this was essentially the first point that I raised in the panel today. So building on a commencement speech by Atul Gawande, a surgeon and author in the US in Caltech earlier this year, that shocked me as I read it. And so the commencement speech focused on something that surprised me, the fact that he felt that the most important thing that universities did for their graduates was helping them become scientists. And this is not just graduate students and students that are planning to go on a science career, but this is for all students. And the importance of science and the science way of thinking in society and in the world today. And so this was my first question was actually related to how little we were focusing on this aspect of science and the scientist as the core of what universities can do for the education of young people nowadays. Then the second point that I raised was that I actually feel very comfortable about the role that universities can have regarding all these changes that are happening in the world. By looking at the key features of these trends and these changes, these are mostly features that universities, because of their role in the global enterprise of science, are extremely able to cope with. Actually, many of these changes are started in the universities and are first felt in the universities, so they have this unique advantage and unique capability to be well positioned to help the world better cope with these changes.
Today we talked about the importance of the university in this changing world. Top universities in the world are doing different and are creating programs with lots of soft skills and to create knowledge for their students. It's much important to focus on the student, and this with my presentation also provide some ideas and some ways that in Portugal to do the same, to create knowledge and courses to train students and to teach students to learn and how to adapt to this changing world.
We were discussing the changes that are going on in the society that challenge the university and make us think about the future. And the purpose of this session was precisely to identify trends that universities are confronted with and define strategies to cope with those trends. And my personal comment was meant to highlight some of the main issues that I think that should be considered in that discussion, namely the imprecise nature of the information that we have necessarily about the future, and therefore the risks that any strategy that we define may face, and the need to take care of that, and raise some issues about the way we deliver whatever strategies we define, considering that a university as the University of Porto has many different units and faculties within it, and that face specific challenges that should be addressed as well.